Malcolm in the Middle ran from 2000 to 2006, and it gave us some of the most unforgettable characters in sitcom history. But here's the question everyone is asking right now. What happened to the cast after the cameras stopped rolling? Some of them became Hollywood legends, some walked away from the spotlight completely, and one of them turned down a fortune just to stay out of the game. Today on Then and Still, we're taking you all the way back and all the way forward. Let's get into it. Number 1. Bryan Cranston, Hal. Let's start with the man who played the lovable, clumsy, and completely unhinged dad, Hal Wilkerson. Bryan Cranston brought this character to life for all 7 seasons, and honestly, nobody else could have done it. But when Malcolm ended in 2006, nobody could have predicted what was coming next. Just 2 years later, Cranston stepped into the role of Walter White in Breaking Bad, and the world watched a comedy dad transform into one of the most terrifying villains in television history. The performance was so powerful it earned him 4 Emmy Awards. He went on to receive an Oscar nomination for the film Trumbo in 2015 and won 2 Tony Awards on Broadway. He also starred in Godzilla, Argo, and the Showtime series Your Honor, proving again and again that there is no role this man cannot own. Today, at 70 years old, Bryan Cranston is widely considered one of the greatest actors of his generation. And here is something most people don't know. Cranston spent 12 years personally pushing to bring Malcolm in the Middle back. He never gave up on this family. And in 2026, his dream finally became reality. Number 2. Frankie Muniz, Malcolm. The boy genius himself. Frankie Muniz started playing Malcolm at just 14 years old and carried the entire show on his young shoulders for 7 seasons. His performance earned him Emmy and Golden Globe nominations while he was still a teenager. But after the show ended, Frankie made a choice that shocked Hollywood. He stepped away from acting entirely. He chased a career as a professional racing driver, competing in open-wheel racing circuits. Then he became the drummer in a rock band called Kingsfoil. Then he appeared on Dancing with the Stars. Frankie was searching, trying on different lives, different identities. What is remarkable is that through all of it, he never seemed lost, just free. For years, people wondered if he would ever return to the role that made him famous. Then, in 2025, cameras rolled again. Frankie Muniz, now 40 years old, put on Malcolm's shoes one more time for the revival series Life's Still Unfair. Number 3. Jane Cadmarbec, Lois. If you grew up watching Malcolm in the Middle, the name Lois probably still gives you chills. Jane Cadmarbec played the most intense, most fierce, and somehow most lovable TV mom of the 2000s, and the world recognized it. She received an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series for every single season of the show. That is not a coincidence. That is a masterclass in acting delivered year after year. After the show ended, Jane took a more selective approach to her career, appearing in This Is Us, Mixed-ish, and The Changeling, among others. She never chased the spotlight, she simply chose her work carefully. Now, in her late 60s, Jane returned as Lois in the 2026 revival. Still sharp, still commanding, still the undeniable heartbeat of this family. Number 4. Christopher Masterson, Francis. Francis was the rebel, the oldest brother, the one Lois sent to military school because she simply could not handle him at home. Christopher Masterson played this role with a wild energy that made Francis one of the most entertaining characters in the whole series. After Malcolm wrapped up, Masterson largely stepped back from the entertainment industry. Unlike his castmates, he didn't chase major Hollywood roles or big projects. He lived a quieter life away from the cameras. Number 5. Justin Burfield, Reese. Reese was the brother who had no brain but somehow always survived. Impulsive, reckless, and secretly a culinary genius, Reese was one of the most hilarious characters on the show, and Justin played him perfectly for all 7 seasons. There is something genuinely funny about a character who is terrible at almost everything in life, but can cook restaurant-quality food, and Justin made that contradiction completely believable and completely lovable. But after the show ended, Justin made a move that very few child actors ever make. He walked away from the screen and went behind it instead. He co-founded a production company called Virgin Produced in Los Angeles, developing and producing film and television content. He became a businessman and producer rather than an actor. In 2025, Justin did return to his roots, stepping back in front of the camera for the revival, without his spiky hair, but with every bit of the Reese energy that fans fell in love with. Number 6. Erik Per Sullivan, Dewey. And now the story you have all been waiting for. Dewey, the quiet, artistic, deeply underestimated little brother. Erik Per Sullivan played Dewey from the very first episode, and he was extraordinary. But then, something unusual happened. After the show ended in 2006, Erik simply stopped acting. No big announcement, no farewell interview. He just disappeared from the industry. By 2010, he was completely gone from the industry. For years, nobody knew where he was or what he was doing. Then, the revival was announced, and the producers went looking for Dewey. They found him. He was at Harvard University studying for his master's degree, reportedly focusing on literature and the works of Charles Dickens. When they offered him the chance to return, he said no. When they reportedly offered him enormous amounts of money, Jane Cadmarabec's own words were, he said no thank you. Bryan Cranston himself called Erik personally and still got the same answer. The former child star chose education over fame. He chose a real life over the spotlight. Erik Per Sullivan is the most fascinating story in this entire cast, and honestly, we respect every bit of that decision. Number 7. Craig Lamar trailer, Stevie Cadmarbec. If Malcolm was the brain of the show, Stevie Cadmarbec was his heart. Craig Lamar trailer played Malcolm's best friend, a wheelchair-bound, asthmatic kid with one lung, a dark sense of humor, and more dignity than anyone else in the room. Here is something most fans never knew. Stevie was only supposed to appear in one single episode. But Craig's performance was so compelling, so memorable, that the writers kept bringing him back. He ended up appearing in 57 episodes across the entire run. That is what genuine talent does. It refuses to be ignored. After the show ended, Craig stepped away from acting to finish high school, and then went on to explore other interests, including crump dancing and visual art, even designing wearable wire sculptures. He made his television debut at age 7 in a scene opposite George Clooney on ER, and that same quiet magnetism carried through Malcolm. He later made a quiet return to small film projects, and even made a cameo in a Frankie Muniz film called Renner. In the 2026 revival, Craig Lamar trailer is back as Stevie, still Malcolm's loyal friend, still the most underrated character this show ever produced. Number 8. David Anthony Higgins, Craig Feldspar. Craig Feldspar was the awkward, soft-spoken, ukulele-playing co-worker of Lois at the Lucky Aid, and somehow one of the most endearing characters in the whole show. David Anthony Higgins brought this lovable loser to life across 39 episodes. He started as a stand-up comedian, co-founded a comedy troupe, and had his own show on Comedy Central in the early 90s. He also starred in the sitcom Ellen as fan favorite Joe the barista, appearing in over 100 episodes. After Malcolm wrapped up, he went on to recurring roles in Big Time Rush, Mike and Molly, American Horror Story, and Be Positive. Before we close out, let's not forget the faces who made Malcolm in the Middle even more special. The guest stars and recurring players who left their own mark on this legendary show. Emmy Collegado, Piama. She played Francis's wife, Piama, the Alaskan woman who brought some much-needed calm to the wildest brother in the family. Emmy Collegado returned for the 2026 revival, still by Francis's side after all these years. Tanya Raymonde, Cynthia. She played Cynthia, Malcolm's early crush and the nerdy new girl nobody quite understood. After Malcolm, Tanya went on to become Alex Rousseau in the global hit series Lost, and later starred in the Amazon legal drama Goliath alongside Billy Bob Thornton. That little Krellboyne girl grew up to be a serious actress. Gary Anthony Williams, Abe Kennerbon, Stevie's loving but hilariously overprotective father. Gary Anthony Williams returned for the 2026 revival and has remained one of the most consistently working character actors in television, with credits across dozens of shows and films over the years. R.J. Smith, Finley. He played Finley, a former cadet from Francis's military school days. R.J. Smith appeared in the revival as well, and has continued building a steady acting career in television since his Malcolm days. Erik Neninger. Erik, another Marlin Academy cadet who crossed paths with Francis. Erik has continued working consistently in television and film since the show ended, and returned in the 2026 revival. Drew Powell. Drew. A recurring presence in the show's later seasons, Drew Powell went on to a notable role as Butch in the Fox series Gotham, appearing alongside Cameron Monaghan, a full-circle moment for two Malcolm in the Middle alumni. Hayden Panetier, Jessica. Before she became Claire Bennett in Heroes and became one of the most recognizable faces on television, Hayden Panetier appeared in 4 episodes of Malcolm in the Middle as the manipulative neighbor Jessica. She was already magnetic on screen, even as a teenager. Emma Stone, Diane, guest role. Yes, that Emma Stone. Before the Oscars, before La La Land, before becoming one of the biggest stars in the world, a young Emma Stone appeared in Malcolm in the Middle, Season 7, as Diane, Dakota Fanning, Emily, guest role. And finally, Dakota Fanning, one of the most celebrated young actresses of her generation, appeared in Season 2 as Emily. Malcolm in the Middle was truly ahead of its time. From a genius kid in a dysfunctional family to one of the most beloved sitcoms ever made, and now in 2026, they're back. Life is still unfair. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because on this channel, we never stop looking back at the faces that shaped our screens. I'll see you in the next